The sound of pattering footsteps echoed through the dense underbrush of the pendulous forest, a place known for its towering trees and the vibrant luminescence that draped the world in hues of violet and emerald. Beneath the canopy, the air was thick with the scent of wet earth and growth. Where moss lingered like a plush carpet below the ancient oaks, it was easy to get lost in the beauty of it, yet danger lurked. Beneath the shadows, Adri picked her way through the foliage, her heart pounding in time with the only other noise in the forest, the distant rumble of thunder. The last storm had left the ground soaked. Dark cloud mass loomed overhead, pregnant with rain. "It's going to pour," she muttered under her breath, flicking stray strands of damp hair from her forehead. "Think we should stop," called out Darian, her companion and closest friend since their childhood. He crouched beside a glowing blue mush, idly running his fingers over its pulsing cap. His brown eyes sparkled with curiosity, hinting he was more interested in the mush than the impending storm. "These look a lot like Nephria's glow. Wait until people see them in the market." Darian, "We're not stopping," she chided gently, though she couldn't help but smile. "We need to get to the village before." She trailed off, the weight of heavier drops on her skin causing her to glance upwards. The scattered sunlight was beginning to vanish behind storm clouds. "We don't want to be stuck out here in the downpour." With a reluctant groan, he stood brushing dirt from his graying tin. "Nick, all right, lead on, oh brave lieutenant." There was mischief in his voice, a lightness that balanced the trepidation clinging to the encroaching shadows. They moved swiftly through the woods, the urgency palpable with each unmistakable growl of thunder above. The forest felt alive and menacing. The sounds of chirping insects were muted, as if the entire woodland were holding its breath in anticipation of the storm. Adri's mind wandered as they walked, and she thought of the meeting that awaited them back at Selwyn, the city bustling with eccentricity and charm. It had been 3 weeks since they were able to trade, ever since the bullish shifted and sealed off the mountain range. Is surrounding pendulous conversations of myths and folktales swirled round camp fires, planting seeds of unease in the townsfolk's psyches. There were whispers about creatures more cunning than mere beasts, perils of the forest beyond their comprehension. "Hey," Darian nudged her shoulder, breaking her reverie. "You zoned out on me again." "Sorry," she replied sheepishly, thinking about that meeting. "Everyone is worried." "Aren't they always?" He laughed. "They thrive on worries as much as bread." Adri chuckled in agreement, but when her gaze shifted back to the steepening path, the chuckle fell away. The sill out of the mountains loomed ahead, jagged spikes looming in the gathering gloom, while the wind began to stir, carrying the promise of rain. "Look," Darian pointed as he climbed to a vantage point on a large rock below. Their current position nestled in a darkened alcove was the mouth of a cave. Blackness loomed invitingly, and for a heart they exchanged a glance that was half excitement, half apprehension. "We could shelter there until the worst passes," he suggested. Measuring her expression, Adri bit her lip, weighing their choice while keeping the thunderous clouds and the tightening grip of the wind in mind. The cave seemed like a peculiar anomaly amidst the lush foliage, a yawning void against the colors of the forest surrounding it. "Surely it's better than getting soaked out here." Did she hesitate? "Let's check it out." The firmness in his tone urged her forward. She nodded, and together they descended the rocky slope toward the cave's entrance. As they stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. The dampness was fresh, cool, and oddly pulsing like a heart bit wrapping around them like a veil. A shiver raced down her spine, but Darian seemed undeterred, moving deeper into the blackness with an explorer's bravado. "Look at the walls," he called back to Adri, his voice bouncing off the uneven stone. She stepped further into the cave, cautious yet curious. The walls glistened under an unseen glow, the patterns unfurling like veins. "Is that?" The thought left her lips barely formed. "Is that breathing?" Darian's voice was incredulous, and it was in the dim light. She could see the undulating patterns shifting, as if the very rock was alive, drawing in a breath, then exhaling slow and steady. Feeling was surreal. It made her heart race with both fear and wonder as they drew Closer, something is off, Audrey admitted, studying the cave's breathing patterns that seemed to pull air from the chamber. Behind, a wave of unease simmered in her gut. Maybe it's just air circulating, he suggested, but his tone lacked conviction. Or maybe it's something else, she mused, creeping further in. The darkness, eyes locked on the mesmerizing sight of pulsing walls. Just how far did this cave extend in? The mountain? Did anyone live in the cave? Were they not the first to find it? Maybe we should go back, Darian whispered suddenly, his voice close to a tremor, as a fresh gust of wind swept through. It sent chills racing along her skin, a reminder that they weren't alone. No, she insisted, perhaps a touch more ferociously than intended. What if it's so? Kay, what if it can help us? Help us? He raised his eyebrows. How could a cave help us? It's alive, Darian, she nearly pleaded. I need to understand just a little longer. With apprehensive glances thrown back toward the cave's entrance, they ventured deeper. As they moved, the breaths began to slow, the rhythm lingering, almost as if it were listening, awakening to their presence. This place, the air around them was changing. It felt less like just a shelter and more like a sentient body welcoming them around them. Shadows flickered, and the cave breathed, harmonizing its pulse is with the stirring wind outside, each resonating bit echoing within the caverns. It was a heart beat. Between two worlds, a delicate song of life that spoke of ancient wisdom buried beyond imagined realms. The forest, Thide thought, was a realm unto itself. Maybe the cave transformed into a sanctum of its own, breathing life into silence. Muffled thunder echoed as the storm broke out. Rain cascading in torrents, drumming rhythmically against the ground, yet within the cave was an oddly serene pulse, drawing them deeper. Okay, Darian said, slowly yielding to the surging wave of intrigue. Let's see where this goes. With a shared glance of determination and curiosity, the anticipation crackled between them like the thunder above as they stepped further in. The unknown, the breaths around them grew more pronounced, a sound echoing through the dark, wrapping them in a cocoon of fears, both known and unknown. Each step drew them deeper inside the living mountain, where walls of stone were waiting to reveal the secrets buried in the pulse of the earth. What had begun as an escape from the rain was evolving into a journey that pulsed with the heart beat of something distinctly alive. They stepped closer into the unknown, and the cave welcomed them in like a heart but waiting to thrum with their own. What lay within would change their lives forever. The cave felt alive, pulsating not just with breath but with a resonant energy woven into its very essence. As Audrey and Darian ventured deeper, the air became electric, filled with echoes of their footfalls against stone, and the distant sound of water dripping like a heart beat in the silence. Uncertainty flickered in Audrey's mind, but with Darian by her side, the sense of danger faded into a shared adventure. How long had it been since they'd embarked on a meaningful journey together? The bond they forged growing up in the village of Selwyn felt tangible in moments like this, where laughter turned to whispers and shared glance it spoke volumes. They recalled the sunlit days spent exploring the riverbanks, their childhood dreams of becoming adventurers fueled by tales spun from the lips of villagers. This cave was theirs to understand, to puzzle out the secrets carved in its walls. The deeper they delved, the more profound the cave's sense of presence became. Glimmering erudite symbols etched upon the walls caught their eye, shimmering with a light that seemed to pulse in rhythm with that peculiar heart beat. Audrey reached out a hand, tracing her fingers over the engravings. There was a connection, an ancient history woven in the rock, a resonance that flickered to life with her touch. She felt as if the walls were alive, suggesting a long-forgotten wisdom hidden in the caverns. Darian crouched near by, his gaze fixed on a cluster of crystalline formations hanging from the ceiling like chandeliers forged by the hand of the divine. Each crystal refracted light in dazzling shapes, casting reflections that danced across their face. Do you think they could be a source of energy? He pondered aloud, his curiosity having shifted him from trepidation to fascination. Maybe this is how the forest breathes, how it grows. Audrey mused, filling a flicker of hope. Darian looked at her. What if we're meant to find something here? What if he paused, grappling with unspoken thoughts? What if we're connected to this cave, this forest on just our physical presence? As they spoke, the cave seemed to echo back their thoughts, the rhythm of its breathing deepening with curiosity. With each gentle thump of air released, Adri felt a pull deep within. A kinship blossomed, threading the past and present, binding them to something larger than themselves. An unexpected rustling from the darkness sent a shiver down Adra's spine. They both froze, exchanging a knowing look. The warmth of shared exploration was abruptly contrasted by uncertainty. The shadows flickered, and as they squinted further into the dark, a soft glow emerged from the depths. "Hello," Darian called out, his voice steady but cautious. Adra's heart raced, as if in response. A small creature emerged from the dark, a delicate being resembling a crossbeat Weena fax and a willow tree, with vibrant green fur and luminescent eyes. It paused, tilting its head curiously at them. "What are you?" Adri breathed, awash in a swirling mix of excitement and caution. The creature stepped forward, a tentative movement, as the cave hummed in reply, harmonizing with a gentle vibration that wrapped around them. "I think it wants to communicate," Darian whispered, stepping gently toward it. The creature darted back, slightly tail flickering, watching them with wide eyes that seemed to speak in a language beyond words. Adri took a deep breath, stilling her resolve. "It's okay," she murmured softly, kneeling to reduce her height, making herself less intimidating. "We won't hurt you." As she spoke, the air seemed to shimmer, the crystals glowing more brightly, illuminating the space with a budding warmth. The creature let out a soft mew, its eyes shimmering in response to Adri. She reached her hand outward, palm open, willing to be vulnerable. Slowly, the creature approached, sniffing her fingers before gently nuzzling against her palms. "See," Darian grinned, his anxiety fading. "It understands kindness." As Adri gently petted the creature's soft fur, a pulse of warmth spread through her fingers, spiraling into the depths of her being. She felt an unexpected bond form, connection woven into the fabric of the cave itself, as if the creature was a manifestation of the forest's spirit. Time became an infinite loop within the cave walls. The creature leaned against her, closing its eyes, and in that serene moment, Adri suddenly felt the weight of memories. Her childhood laughter, the fireside stories of the forest's magic, the fears that lingered in the corners of her heart, were all tied together. "Aren't we?" she mused aloud. The creature's eyes opened wide, swirling with vibrant color. And for a fleeting instant, something incredible happened. The crystal formations began to emit soft, glowing patterns, synchronizing with the rhythm of their hearts. Darian watched in stunned silence before speaking, as if awakening from a dream. "Adri, it's like it's expressing our souls, our truth." "Yes," Adri nodded, knowingly, deeply and profoundly connected to that shimmering energy. "It's showing us who we are." The heartfelt moment lingered, drawing energy from the cave surroundings, forging a bond that transcended all their previous experience. But just as suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Clouds started to grow dark again above them. Thunder rumbled ominously, and she could feel the echoing heart of the cave tremble, slightly losing its rhythmic pulse. "Do you feel that?" Darian whispered, his expression shifting from fascination to concern. "Something's wrong." The gentle creature lifted its head, ears flicking jaggedly, preparing to retreat. "No, wait," Adri called out. "Where are you going?" But the moment was fleeting. The creature darted into the deeper shadows as a muffled thrumming resonated within the walls. The pulse of the cave turned erratic, mirroring their quickening breaths as they turned in unison to the darker recess. For the first time, the cave didn't feel inviting, but rather oppressive. It felt as if they had awakened something dormant, something that stirred, flickering at the edges of consciousness. Should they retreat back in the forest or remain here? Where the pulse began to echo in both excitement and dread. With a deep breath, Adri grasped Darian's hand, feeling a surge of strength in their shared connection. "We have to find that creature." She insisted it feels like it's a part of whatever is happening here. It might be the key to understanding this place. With her heart wrestle. With they pressed onward together, the pulse of the cave trailing them like an unseen spectre tapping int. The depths of their fears and guilt stumbling deeper int. The darkness, Adri steadied her breath, focusing on the brightness within a glimmer of hope flickering, urging. There bent to flourish seasons ago, resentment and responsibility over the village had scattered like seeds. Unsure of where they'd land now inside this living, breathing ent. Hands clasped in yin, daring to dream. They realized what they could have accomplished together. They were willing to face the unknown not just as an escape, but as architects of healing. Unbeknownst to them, a shift surged through the cave. Battle of light and shadow inviting them to show resilience and embody the empathy woven int. The roots of their home outside, the storm raged on tides adjusting with nature's influence intim, yet unrelenting the cave drew them further int. The belly of the mountain, guiding them down winding passage, is a low growl emanated from the depths beyond, a resonant warning uniting both the warmth of the creature and the creeping chill emanating from the shadows they stumbled up. And an immense chamber interspersed with light and twisted formations. At the center loomed an ancient tree, roots twisting like serpents through the ground, branches stretching upward and yearning for the light above. Each leaf shimmered in myriad colors, an interplay of life, unbound and free. But there all morphed quickly int. Petrified concern, the tree had begun to wither, its vibrancy dimming as shadowy tendrils coiled menacingly around its base. The walls thrummed colder, uneven echoes reverberating through their core. The creature they sought stood just beyond the tree, watching them with wide, desperate eyes. It seemed to balance the weight of the world up, and its delicate shoulders, heart echoing like an ancient call for help. We have to save it, Adri urged, her voice steady, drowning out the darkness, hands squeezed tight, all of us together. But failure loomed in the recess of her mind, seeping dread that coiled around her heart like the shadowy tendrils entwined around the tree. Yet it was in that moment, grounded by their companionship, that Adri realized the roots of their village grew deeper than the soil it extended into the very fabric of life. Trembling within them, longing for expression, they would not falter now. Darian stepped forward, drawing Adri along with him, determination set in their resolve, and small flickers began to light up ahead. The crystals that had once responded to their laughter now flickered with urgency. Each step resonated with rhythm, cultivating those once forgotten connections, transforming vulnerability into strength. They reached toward the tree, feeling the remnants of life pulse beneath their fingers. The cave felt like breathing air, alive with possibilities. Together, they called on their village. Is warmth, stories of compassion, and connections born through laughter and love. We are here, they whispered in unison, eyes closed, hands clasped, hearts combined with the very essence of the world around them. The cave exhaled, and in that moment, it felt as if they were tapping in not just one life but countless lives that had thrived in the forest. An echo that spiraled, spreading warmth deep within the shadowy tendrils coiling around the tree, began to thin, ebbing away under the warmth flowing from their hearts. For every moment filled with doubt, kindness surged forth in response. They had faced fears together, they had woven their own stories int the fabric of the cave alongside the ancient spirits lingering within as they stood bound by the pulse of compassion. Adri released her breath, gazing toward the creature that had led them here. Gratitude blooming in her chest, the creature stepped closer, a light kindling in its eyes, igniting with fierce determination. And as the shadows redid, the cavern began to resonate with life. The ancient tree reawakening, unfurling leaves that glimmered bright. The cave trembled, breathing with renewed vigor as stories waited to be woven. Yet amidst that flickering warmth was a pulse of uncertainty. They stood on the cusp of a monumental change. Would they truly guard the connection that had been forged? And if they could heal this bend, then what lay ahead may forever alter the path they once thought. Determined, as the first sign of dawn broke across the cave, spilling a golden luminescence in the darkness, Adri and Darian exchanged a determined look. They were no longer just individuals wandering through the cavern of uncertainty. They were intertwined in purpose, resolving to embrace the light, and as life flowed on. Within the cave, their hearts whispered secrets only they could understand of a journey yet to be completed together. They would face the mysteries ahead and unravel what awaited just beyond the horizon, but deep within the pulse of the forest moor awaited an awakening they could not yet comprehend, lingering at the edges of their consciousness, pulling them further into a deeper enigma that had begun with a heart. Bit together, they would carve a path toward the finale and perhaps unlock the greatest mystery of all, resting in the heart of the ancient forest that had called to them from the very start. As the first rays of dawn streamed in the cave, illuminating the vibrant colors of the ancient tree, swaying gently in new found life, Adri and Darian could hardly believe their eyes. Everything around them pulsed in harmony. The air felt electric, tinged with the sweetness of rebirth. With each breath, warmth spread like ripples across their hearts, reassuring them that they were under the spell of something extraordinary in that moment. The creature, the fox-like spirit of the forest, danced around their feet, playfully nudging their ankles as if encouraging them to participate in the joyous awakening surrounding them. It was a celebration of life, unfolding, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope flickered like a candle seeking to illumine at the void. Together in a shared breath of anticipation, they took a step forward, their hands clasped tightly to one another, not letting go of the bond they had forged. As they drew closer to the magnificent tree, they noticed intricate symbols carved into its lengthy trunk, deep grooves filled with a sheen that mirrored the crystal formations buzzing in resonance with their hearts. Darian pressed his fingertips to the bark, and instantly the symbols began to glow with a soft, warm light that pulsed in rhythm with their breathing. The tree responded, quaking gently under their touch. Together, Adri whispered, filling the heart of the cave, synchronize with theirs. We can heal the forest, we can bring balance back in tandem. They called up, and the memories of their childhood, the laughter of friends, the warmth of shared meals, the stories passed from one generation to the next. Each memory sparked life in the ancient tree, the pulsing symbols emanating light that brightened the dark recesses of the cave. Shadows faltered and faded away as the air filled with the warmth of collective love and understanding. The creature circled around them, its eyes reflecting the light cascading from the tree, brimming with the very essence of community. It hopped lightly on Darian's shoulder, nuzzling into the crook of his neck, triggering an infectious sense of joy. The bond they shared felt invincible, and together they had ignited a spark that promised to inspire. Every moment matters, Adri murmured, remembering all the small acts of kindness that had bloomed in their village. Every person, every encounter, it means something. Yes, Darian agreed fervently, pulling away just long enough to lock eyes with her before returning to the tree, deepening the connection. It's those moments that have formed us, shaped our paths. We're not just a village, we're a family. The forest, the cave, they're all a part of that. The fervor in their voices rang through the chamber, igniting the pulse of the cave more fervently. The shadows, once foreboding, were at odds with the gloriously bright energy around them. The tendrils of darkness began to dissolve, swept away by the invasive warmth of community and love. Adri turned to the ancient tree, feeling the rising hope within. What if this hope extended beyond them? What if they could bring this light back to their village, back to the homes that had struggled through a tumultuous season? And what about the others? She ventured, a whisper of uncertainty slipping in her voice. What about those who have been affected by the darkness? Darian squeezed her hand gently, urgency gleaming in his eyes. They need to see this. They need to know that hope is alive in the most for in corners, stilling themselves against the simple yet profound task ahead. They resolved to bring this light back to Selwyn. They breathed, working together to knot their intentions into the very core of the ancient tree, transform in warmth through touch, thought, and will, a tangible energy staring to breathe life back into the village as the last tendrils of darkness evaporated and the forest erupted into thunderous applause. The cave around them began to echo with the laughter of generations past, wrapping them in a cocoon of kindred spirits. What if we are the vessel? Audrey questioned aloud, excitement bubbling through her. What if we carry this light back to the people? Yes, Darian nodded fervently, admiration shining in his eyes. It has to be us. We hold it together. They turned from the magnificent tree, urgency igniting a brightness within their core. With arms linked, they ventured back through the warm corridors of the cave, the once bleak path now flourishing with boundless energy, a living testament to the strength of community and growth. As they stepped out in the world of pendulous forest, the forest came alive with vibrant hues, the likes of which they had never witnessed before. Every leaf, every branch glimmered with the spirit of resurgence, a melody carried with the soft breeze wrapping around them. It was the voice of the forest celebrating their resolve. They walked hand in hand through the dense thickets where sun-lit rays filtered through the branch. As overhead, the once muted sounds of the forest grew louder, welcoming them back in the world they called home. With purpose in every step, they made their way towards Selwyn, filling the warmth of the cave still wrapped around their hearts. They needed a way to share the light with their community, the very essence of their journey and the vital lessons learned along the way. When they finally emerged from the forest and into the clearing of Selwyn, the bustling village greeted them, a stark contrast to the wild beauty of the woods. Smoke rose gently from chimneys, children played in the fields, and the air was soft with the scent of budding flowers. Yet even amidst the warmth, there was a lingering sense of fear and uncertainty in the village. Look, a voice called. It was Eldrin, the village elder, wisdom carved in his weathered features. He stepped closer as he caught sight of Audrey and Darian. The warmth of recognition blossoming. You've returned, he spoke, relief flooding his voice but laced with an undercurrent of despair. You vanished on our darkest night. We feared. Audrey stepped forward, her heart swelling. We found something beyond comprehension, she declared, feeling the energy flow through her fingertips. It was waiting for us to recognize it, an energy that has the potential to heal. Darian joined her at her side, unable to contain the joy bubbling within. We can ignite the light in each of you. The balance, the love and kindness we carry, it's a force that can guide us all. The villagers' exchanged glance is filled with hesitant hope mixed with doubt. Eldrin took a step forward, voice steady yet uncertain. How can we trust that after everything we've been through? The memory of the cave flooded Audrey's mind, the vibrant pulse of the tree, the cheers of encouragement echoing through the chambers as a collective chorus of support. Our journey was not one of isolation. It was a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we are never alone. She explained, her voice steady yet warm. Look around you, Darian urged, spinning slowly to encompass the heart of Selwyn. Maybe our connection to the forest was deeper than we. Every bend, every moment shared a tapestry of resilience and strength. The stillness settled over the villagers, curiosity sparking in their eyes and mingling with the fear of despair. After a moment of silence, the trepidation flickered slightly, heart bits echoing in the air. Then show us, Eldrin pressed gently, sincere light filtering through his often hardened face. Show us the light, let us fill it once more with unwavering determination. Audrey and Darian clasped each other's hands, confidence flooding through them. They closed their eyes, channeling the energy coursing through them, drawing upon the spirit of the cave they had left behind, the tree pulsating with life, the energy of community thriving amid the embrace of nature. They focused on the memories of warmth, kindness, and unyielding support that had burgeoned not just in their own hearts, but within the hearts of everyone they had ever known. As they drew On that collective energy, tendrils of light began to weave between them, blossoming and bursting forth like fireworks erupting. Against the night sky, let it move through. All of us, Adri urged, a whisper of awe, lacing her voice together. They created a radiant bridge between their hearts and those around them. The villagers watched in awe as light poured from the hands of Adri and Darian. Slowly, softly, it trailed outwards, lacing it. The warmth that dwelled in each person's heart, laughter and joy rose to meet them, shimmering with the genuineness of shared memories. Eldrin's eyes glistened with wonder as the radiant energy vibrated within the very core of Selwyn. The twinkling light snaked through the village, illuminating the faces of those gathered, even the most winter-worn souls. As the light unfurled, it embraced everyone present, a reminder that they were woven together by shared stories, moments of laughter, and a deep sense of belonging. Children danced, hands outstretched, reaching for the stars, their giggles rippling through the collective energy that charged the air. Adults looked up one another, eyes bright with an understanding that traversed mere words, a promise of remembrance and rebirth, of warmth over shadowing the chill of loneliness. As the villagers' lives interconnected beneath a tapestry woven from courage, fellowship, and unyielding warmth, Audrey stepped back to nestle against Darian's side. He looked down at her, admiration filling his eyes as they both took in the vibrant transformation of their home. Symphony burgeoning with laughter. "We're a family," Darian murmured, a smile stretching from ear to ear. "Yes. And it doesn't stop here," Audrey replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. "We can build this light together, nurturing it like the roots of the trees." Eldrin, his voice steady and filled with conviction, began to address the villagers, sharing tales of their journey, embedding each word with a depth of understanding that resonated within their hearts. "This light isn't merely a phenomenon, and it is the embodiment of our community, a testament to our kindness, strength, and resolve. Every act of kindness reflects back up on us." Adri spoke, stepping forward, her voice ringing with certainty, and can ripple through time. "We have the power to cultivate joy, to awaken the spirit within Selwyn and the pendulous forest. Each of us can create sacred moments that will resonate through generations." The villagers nodded, absorbing her words, and in that instant, they became a living embodiment of the thriving energy shared between them. They began to step forward, connecting hands and hearts as the warmth thrummed through their skin, a tactile band pulsing with hope. As they wove their energy with past memories, the light formed a chorus, a melody that journeyed through the air, echoing off the great trees in an effervescent celebration of community. Together, they embraced the warmth, they birthed gratitude where fear had once resided, and in that embrace, a last ripple of darkness melted away. Audrey cast her gaze outward toward the forest that had brought them home, the place that had awakened their spirits, a verdant sanctuary lying in wait to reveal its mysteries. The trees whispered through the wind, inviting each villager to explore even further in the stories waiting to be uncovered. This would be a new beginning, the light shimmering brightly behind them. Together, they pledged to continue nurturing the bonds they had forged from the spirit of the cave to their own hearts. The connection deepened, growing richer with every kindness they chose to offer. Audrey's heart swelled as she locked eyes with Darian. They were not just vessels of light. They were the architects of a legacy blooming with purpose and intent. No longer would they face the world burdened with the weight of darkness. Rather, they were ready to weave themselves into the fabric of a brighter future for all. As the villagers laughed and shared stories beneath the luminous glow, the forest beckoned, inviting them on an adventure more significant than themselves, a testament to the power of connection and kindness leading the way. And it was here, within the symphony of shared sounds, laughter, and new found resolution, that Audrey knew they had not only healed the forest, they had awakened it to its true purpose. The light danced in nor the rising sun, painting a breathtaking canvas filled with hope, reminding them that this ripple of kindness would resonate long into the future. They were not just a village, They were a community bound by love, a reflection of the very forest that sheltered them, and together under the canopy of this new dawn, they would stand unite, it forever transformed as guardians of the light. The echo of their laughter wrote a promise upon the wind, promise of remembrance, connection, and unwavering hope, reminding every beating heart of the power they held to change the world together.